How you doing? Happy Tuesday, my friends. Hey, I'm a step ahead of the game. I actually know what day it is this week. What? It's quite possible that I actually got enough sleep. In fact, I may have gotten a little more sleep than I needed last night. I actually overslept this morning, so that was a shock. I never do that. Hi, Katie. Katie, how's the audio? Is it okay? Is everything okay? I still have not plugged up the new iPad yet. I'm such a procrastinator. I really am. Hi, Suzanne. Let me know if it sounds okay, guys, because like I said, I haven't plugged it up yet. I haven't even powered it on. I'm just like, it's not really that I'm a procrastinator. It's just that I've had a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, it's been one of those. I really do need to do it though. So we don't have to do the wiggle wiggle except for just fun. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Dawn. Hey, girl. Hey, Randy. Hi, guys. How is everybody doing? It's good? Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Katie. Joan says wiggle wiggle though. Do you want me to just wiggle wiggle just for fun? Can't hear me. Okay. Well, how about now? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if it's okay. Everyone wiggle. Let's all, like, we need an official wiggle because I'm always just like wiggle wiggle, but like I think we feel like we need an official like like an actual wiggle. Hello, live wires. I love it. I love it. Hey, Sue, I just sent you a message. When you get a second, just to, if you don't mind, make sure that I have the right address for you. I'm going to head over to the post office as soon as we're done here. So I just wanted to be sure. Yeah. All right, guys. So a couple things to talk about. Janella says she can't stay for the live, but we'll catch the rerun. That's okay. That's okay. I'm just glad you popped in to say hey. Ramona says wiggle. I already wiggled. Nicole says it's better. There's a delay, so it makes it kind of weird, you know? All right, so let's talk about a couple of things that we need to talk about before we get into this project, which I think you guys are going to like this one. I feel like it's kind of easy, but at the same time, like maybe it's a way to do tassels that you've never thought of before, which I'm always looking for new inventive ways, right? So that's what this is all about. But let's talk for just a second, okay? Because last Friday, which is the last time that I got to see you guys, it was Feel Good Friday, right? And we put together a necklace that was antique brass. And it was, we patinaed like that centerpiece, and then we added a bird to it, and we added some chip beads to it. And you guys, Nicole says, Wanda says, Nicole, please cause trouble for me. We're going to miss you, Wanda. You guys really liked that project. Like you really, the reception to that was, I was like, I don't know. I guess I thought that you wouldn't like it. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to decide like what's going to be good and what's not going to be good. The reception to that project, you guys just like really liked that one a lot. So I thought, you know what? I've got enough materials to actually turn that into a kit. And you know, I know that I told you guys, like, I'm going to be working towards doing a monthly kit that's going to be like a big project with lots of materials, and it's going to be worth your while. And I was actually going to do that first and then work on some smaller kits just as little projects that come up that you guys really like and might want to recreate yourself. Well, when I talked to my business coach yesterday, she was like, you know, you're really kind of doing that backwards. Why don't you work on the smaller kits and make your way towards the bigger kit? Then that way the smaller kits can kind of fund the bigger kit, which, duh, you would think. But I mean, that's why I have a business coach, because she does all of that smart thinking for me. And so I put together a kit that is very, very similar to what we did. Now, I say similar because I didn't have enough of the birds, right? The birds came from Vintage. I didn't have enough of the birds to put as the middle, over the middle pendant. So what I did instead was I had these really cool vintage scarabs. They're like these little charms. It's actually a connector because there's a loop on one side and a loop on the other side. They're really small, but they're like this gorgeous cobalt blue. And I don't know why, but I was really drawn to that blue with the teal that we used. And I was like, that combination almost looks like a peacock. So if you changed up the patina a little bit, it would be like amazing peacock colors. So the kit is in the shop. Okay. It's over in my Etsy shop. There's only so many of them. Okay. So once they're sold out, they're gone. That's it. But keep in mind that you're going to get everything you need minus jump rings and of course tools and the paint, right? You have to have your own patina paints. But I figure that's the fun part of the project is doing the patina part yourself. But everything else you'll get in your kit, and instead of the bird, you're going to get a scarab. It's a vintage brass scarab little charm that goes over that centerpiece, and then 2 cobalt blue crystal beads to hang underneath it. There's a picture of it all put together, so you can look at it and decide like if that's something that you're interested in or not. Okay, yeah, the kit is in my Etsy shop. They're not super expensive, but you know, they're there if you're interested in them. I think they're beautiful. I think I almost like the way that the cobalt blue works with the teal even better than the bird. So just so you know, there's some of those kits over in the Etsy shop. All you got to do is just go purchase them, and I'll get those shipped out to you by probably the 1st of next week. Okay, so you got to give me a little bit of time because I'm new to putting kits together myself. Okay, so if you're interested in those, yeah, go grab them. Go grab them. Like I said, once they're gone, they're gone. I may be able to like redo them later on, but they'll probably be just a little bit different. So those are there if you're interested in them. Please help yourself to those. Yes, Mary says, could you link the Etsy shop? Joan just dropped a link. That's my girl, Joan. She will drop links for you guys throughout the live. So if you're ever looking for something, she's got it. All right. She definitely has that. And I can post it later too, if they're not sold out by the end. You guys buy things really quickly, which I'm always like, whoa, that was fast. So I don't know. I hope you guys love these. If you don't, that's okay. Totally fine. Like my business coach was like, you got to take the first step. You got to take the first step. Just do it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. So, all right, there you go. All right. So let's talk about today's project. Today we are doing tassels, and the tassel project. I know you can do a tassel in a million different ways. I've seen them a million different ways, but I found this technique a while ago, actually. I found this, I can't remember where I saw it. You know how like, if you go to Google and you just type in how to do something, a lot of times Wiki will come up and Wiki will show you step by step. It may have been on Wiki where I found how to do this. Okay, so I did not invent this by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, this is not something that I just came up with. This is a technique that is out there. It's been out there for a while, but maybe you don't know about it, and so I'm happy to show it to you. We're going to put together 2 different tassels. We're going to do one with all of the colors that are in the one that's in the picture for the event. So it's like this really pretty like rose color. Okay, we're going to put this one together, but we're also going to put one together. Actually, the first one that we put together is actually going to be 2 different colors, so that you can see this is not, it doesn't hang like, I'll explain this material here in just a second, but it helps to do it in 2 colors so that you can actually see the knot, because it's actually a knot at the very top here. I'm going to teach you how to do that knot. So we're going to do it with 2 different colors, and then we'll do it with solid colors so that you get lots of practice on this guy. But it's fun. It's fun, and it's really kind of easy. That being said, for the red one, or the kind of pinky rose colored one, I just used cotton cord. I don't know what the diameter is of this, but I picked this up at Michael's, like over in their sewing stuff, like forever ago. It's a little thick, but it's not quite as thick as embroidery floss. Okay, so you know, it could hang a little nicer, but I mean, I'm just using what I got, so. If you had some silk thread, it would look absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I'm going to show you that knot on the top. And then this one, you guys, this one is actually made out of Beadalon's tassel cord. They have tassel cord in several different colors, and it's cotton tassel cord, but it has that metallic like stripe that runs through it. One of them you can see is black with a red stripe, and then the other one is black with a silver stripe, but there's like a whole like library of colors. There's not a ton, but there are several colors that the tassel cord comes in. And if you're not into like these deep colors, there's some really beautiful, like a beige color and a pinky color that's not like over the top Pepto-Bismol pink. It's more like a neutral pink. So yeah, if you're interested in the tassel cord, all of that you can find over on the Beadalon website. We're going to use it to show you initially how to do this, and then I'm going to use the solid cord. Okay. Marcia says, "How I've missed you. I've missed you too, my friend." And there's Miss Ginger. Hello, Ginger. How are ya? All right, so let's get naughty with our little tassels. And can I just say for just a second, I almost left this out. I don't know if you participated in Nilay's Silver Silk event, right, back in December, but there may have been a time during that event when my friend Joan, Miss Reserved, Quiet, yeah, right, she's so not, happened to put some tassels, wear some tassels, tape some tassels to herself, and that is where this project came from. So if you missed that, I'm sorry that you missed it. If you didn't miss it, I'm also sorry. It was really funny, but yeah, so that's where the tassel idea came from. All right, guys, so let's make some tassels, shall we? Marcia says, "Go Joan." Yup, indeed, my friends. It was a sight. All right, adjust my lights just a little bit, guys. Let me know if the audio is okay. I gave it a little wiggle. All right, so it was hilarious. Okay, so let's talk about what kind of cord you're going to need. I'm going to sit this kind of rose color to the side. I say rose color because it's like a deep rose. I thought it was red when I bought it. It's totally not, but okay, we're going to look at these guys. So this is the black and the red. Okay, really pretty. I've got a bundle of it. Actually, I have two bundles of it. I'm going to give you your measurements here in just a second. And then I have two bundles of the black and the silver. So you're going to need 4 bundles to do this. And let me tell you how I've kind of measured mine, okay? So I have 8-inch pieces of the cord. And that's actually going to be kind of big, but we're going to trim some of it off. You need to keep that in mind when you're cutting your cord, okay? So your cord pieces need to be double what the desired length for your tassel is going to be. So if I wanted 4-inch tassels, 8 inches is what I'm going to need. My tassels are actually going to end up being more like 3 inches. I'm going to trim some of it off. But if you're looking to do the math and not wanting to trim a whole lot off, then just double the length for the actual length of the tassel that you want. Okay, so we've got 8-inch bundles here. Each bundle has about 13 strands in it. That is 4 bundles, okay, if you're wanting to write this down. It's 4 bundles with 13 cords each. That's going to get you a thick tassel, okay? And I'm talking, it's pretty thick. Like, there's no and, ifs, or buts about it. If you want a thinner tassel, then go less than 13, obviously, right? But you still have to have 4 bundles, okay? So make your adjustments as you need to with this, but what I've got is 13 strands in 4 bundles, okay? And I've got 2 different colors, just to kind of show you how this is going to go at first. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tie ourselves a little knot here. So I'm going to take one of the red bundles. I'm going to find the ends, okay? I'm going to bring the ends together so that I folded it in half. I've got a little bit of a loop here on one end. I'm going to lay that down flat. You want to do this on your work surface. Do not try to do this up in your hands. You'll make a big mess, and then you'll end up being very, very frustrated. Okay, let me lift you up just a little bit. Okay, so we're making our loop here with our first color. Okay, I'm going to take the second color and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring the two ends together, find the middle. Okay, now I want to take the ends of this loop and very carefully, I want to put them through the loop that's already laid down. Okay, just like this. So the ends, and like I said, we'll do this twice. Okay, so if you miss it, and then that's the good thing about replay too. Okay, that's what we've got so far. Okay, now I'm going to take the next color, which is the red again. Okay, same thing, take the ends together, make yourself a loop. Okay, now this time I'm going to turn it this direction. Okay, so our loop is up here at the top, and I'm going to take the ends of this one and stick them through this loop down here that we just made out of our silver. And it can be a little tricky at first. It's, it's a little fumbly at first, but just take your time, go slow with it. Okay. That's what we've got so far. Okay, we're making a square out of our loops basically. And I know it's hard to see because they want to bundle together instead of separating. There we go. That's a little bit easier to kind of understand what we've got. Okay. Now, last one is our silver and black again. I'm going to bring the ends together, make ourselves a loop. Okay. Now the loop is going to go over the tails here. Okay, so we just want to stick the tails through that loop. Okay, and then the ends are going to go through this loop. So basically all we're doing is we're creating loops and then we're just attaching them all together. Okay, and if they're twisted, like this one's kind of that's okay. It doesn't make any difference. It's all going to work out in the end, but you want your loops, right? You want your loops with tails going through them. And that's pretty much, once you look at it that way and you're like, okay, I'm making loops out of all 4 bundles and then just making sure that they each have one set of tails going through them, you're good to go. Okay, super easy. Now what we want to do is we want to start to kind of tie this into a knot, and I do that by pulling on the tails a little bit at a time. Okay, you're not going to pull it all tight all at once, right? I'm just going to pull a little bit, make my way around every little bundle. I'm going to pull a little bit at a time. Okay, pull a little bit at a time. Okay, now I haven't pulled it tight just yet. Okay, there's clearly still some opening in there. You can see it's like a little window. Okay, there's daylight in there. Now I want my tassel to have a head pin or a piece of wire, right? Because that's how we're going to attach it to things. So all you're going to need to do is take a head pin, and it can be just a prefab head pin, or you can, make your own knotted head pin, and a little 4mm bead of any kind. Okay, I just use a little black bead that I don't, I'm not using it for anything other than just filler, so I consider it a filler bead, but it's big enough and substantial enough that it's going to hold on. Okay, you don't want a little teeny tiny bead. I tried a seed bead, it's just not quite big enough. Okay, so little 4mm bead, you want to stick that right in the center of all of that, right? Just in the window there. Okay, now continue to tighten up around. Just keep pulling. Okay, and you want to tighten up so that you've actually knotted that bead into the center of all 4 pieces. Okay, now I want to really tighten it up a bit. Okay, as I pulled out almost all of the slack, so now I really want to kind of pull tight. Okay. And at this point, I can even pick it up. Okay. I feel like the light is having trouble with these colors that I'm using for this cord. Okay. It's still a little loose. Uh-oh. And I lost, oh no, I lost my head pin out of my bead. All right. Hold on. I can still see it in there. Where'd you pick it up? Be careful. All right, little bead. Where'd you go? So be careful, that bead is not there. Maybe it'll help to see the bottom of the bead. All right, now tighten it up really tight. Okay. You don't need any glue for this. You could add glue if you wanted to, but honestly, if you pull tight enough, you're going to be good. But you got to work with it, okay? Got to work with it. Okay. So when you're looking at your center, of course, our center here has our bead in the middle because it's upside down. But when you're looking at the center, you've got that pattern, that kind of square pattern, right? Now, hold on to your, oh no. I promise this works, you guys. I promise it does. Let me tighten up a little bit more. It may be that this cord is a little slippery and we need to just stick the bead underneath, but you can see what the pattern is, okay? Take your bead, just wiggle your head pin through the center. Okay. Now, when you... Are we sure it's not Monday? It's starting to feel a little bit like a Monday. Oh my gosh. I'm not getting it tight enough around my bead, I don't think. There we go. Okay. Behave yourself, bead. Now, you want to bundle it up, right? So your bead's on the inside, right? You've got this beautiful pattern on the top. Slippery little guy, I'm telling you. It's the cord that's the slippery part. But now when you bundle it together, here's what you've got, right? Your bead is in the center. You're not going to see it. You've got your piece of wire coming out of the center. So now it's functional, right? But we got to bundle all this together to keep it all in place. So lay it down, right, on your work surface here, okay? Now I'm going to take another piece of this same material. And let's see here. Got a couple. There it is. So just in case you're curious, this is what the Beadalon Tassel Cord comes on. Yeah, I could use a bigger bead. I really try not to though, because when you're using thinner material like we're using here, I don't want that bead to sneak out, right? I really want to keep the bead as small as possible. But yeah, I could probably go up to a 6mm bead here and it would probably behave a little bit better. So I'm going to cut myself about, I don't know, 8-10 inches of this cord to tie my tassel together. Okay. Now in the materials list, I added that you might want to have a large eye needle. For those of you guys that are unfamiliar with large eye needles, it appears to just be a needle, but if you wiggle your fingernail in between there, it actually opens up, right? And I've got all of this room where I can thread some material. You don't have to use a needle to do this. I just find that it's much easier. So I'm going to take one end of my thread and stick it through, okay? The other end of my thread, I want to take it and make a U shape, okay? A short U shape. It doesn't have to be very, very long, okay? And I'm going to lay that U shape over. I know it's hard to see because it definitely kind of disappears into what we're doing here, but our U shape, okay, lay that up against the surface of all of your cords, okay? Pinch all that together. Now take your longer cord and wrap around, okay? Wrap around a few times, however many times you can get around, right? Now, let me have to undo one, okay? Now, the end that has the needle on it, you want to take it and you might have to bend your needle and go underneath all of the wraps. Essentially what we're doing is we're making a barrel knot, but we're doing it with really thin cord. That's why the needle is very helpful. So we're going down through all of the wraps, pull, take the needle off. Okay, now we've got two ends, right? This is our U end coming this direction, and this is the one we just took through with our needle. Now I just want to pull the two ends, and that's going to tighten up our bundle. So we made a barrel knot, and I normally make barrel knots with like large, thick, like leather. It makes it a little bit easier to see. But you certainly can use a barrel knot to tie off your tassel, okay? So now, the thread that's coming down towards all your other threads, I just kind of brush it down into the rest of the tassel. This one right here that's coming up to the top, I take a little tiny bit of Hypo cement and just tuck the end of the tube like underneath, right where that tail is coming. Give it a little squeeze so I know that at least a little drop of glue has gone in there underneath the wrap that we made. And now I can come in and trim this guy off, okay? I feel secure knowing that that is going to stay because we did add a little bit of glue to it. Now we have this really cool looking tassel, and the top of mine of course is very kind of bulbous. If you don't want it to be nearly as like big and bulky as the top of mine, you can make your bundle a little bit closer up here to the top. It really, you can play around with it and get different results, right? Okay, but now my tassel is really super long, and to me it's just too much length. So I'm actually going to trim some of this off with my scissors, and I'm gonna kind of cut mine off right about here. So my length portion is only going to be, you know, maybe 2 inches. That doesn't include the knot at the top. Okay. And now I have this 2-color tassel, right, that I can do whatever with. And since I have already included my wire in the design, I don't have to worry about that at all. And I can just take a bead, pop it down on the top, right? You can dress it up however you want to. I'm going to put a round faceted bead and then a Swarovski crystal bicone on the top of that. And then I'm just going to wire wrap that and call it done. Add a, whoops, dropped my tools, hold on. I'm going to call it a day. You can add an ear wire to this. You can add a jump ring to it. You can make earrings. You could make it a pendant. But you can use any stringing material that you want. Okay, I'm showing you with the cotton tassel cord from Beadalon. However, you can do this with embroidery floss. You can do this with silk cord. You can do this with leather. You can do it with literally anything. The knot is going to be the same. Okay, your measurements will be different depending on how thick you want your tassels to be. But pretty much the steps are going to be exactly the same if you want that wire on the top, which to me, like, I don't know, when I figured out how to do this, I was like, this is so perfect, because one of the things that frustrates me the most about tassels is when they don't have an attachment, right? Or they have a very thin little slip knot of thread as your attachment. And to me, that's not functional enough. What I need is a good sturdy piece of wire in there. So this was the perfect way for me to make a tassel. Not only that, but these are called boutique tassels because it's not a regular, you know, where you just bundle your cord and fold it over and tie a knot around it. That decorative knot on the top that actually is functional is what makes this more of a boutique tassel, which is the kind of tassel that you're going to find when you're looking for like chain pulls, like for your fan or your lamps, things like that. Beaded seed bead tassels a lot of times have the Chinese knot at the top with the seed beads. So it's really just kind of a step up in the world of tassel making. Instead of folding over, right? You give it a little extra something. So there's that one. Let's do it one more time because I want to be sure that everybody knows how to do it. And this time we're going to do it with 4 bundles that are all the same color. I thought it was important to show it to you with bundles that were different colors at first, just so that you could kind of get an idea. But now we're going to do it all with one color. So our tassel is going to be a solid color tassel. Okay, so one more time. Again, I've got 13 strands. You can adjust that if you don't want it to be nearly as thick. 13 strands, 8 inches long in 4 bundles. Okay, so I'm going to take one of my bundles here. There's a short strand in this one. I don't know why. All right, take one of the bundles, bring the ends together to form a loop where you're folding it in half. Okay, lay that down on your table. Okay, now same thing with the next one. Take your bundle, find the ends, make a loop. Now we want our loop to go this direction, and we want to very carefully tuck our ends through the first loop that we made. Okay, just like that. Next, another group, making our loop. Our loop is up here at the top this time. I'm going to tuck our ends into that loop. Okay, so there's that. And last one, our loop is going to loop around the ends of our first, and the tails are going to go through that guy. Okay, so that's what you got, right? And that part's really, really easy. Once you, like I said, you figure out that it's just loops and everything's connected, the tails are going through each loop, it really takes kind of the hard part out of it. It's really not that complicated at all. But now we are going to, a little bit at a time, just go around each group of our ends and pull a little bit at a time to start to tighten everything up. And it'll look like a mess at first. That's okay. Okay, this time I'm going to leave the bead out. We'll just tuck it in just in case. Okay, but you can see my little pattern here is starting to form. So now I really want to tug on it quite a bit to get it nice and tight. Okay, and you end up with this pretty little kind of square knot in the center, right? You've got that pretty little shape. It just gives your tassel more of a woven look, right? It just, I don't know, it just adds, even though it's such a small little thing, it really just adds such a difference, I feel like, to the way that the tassel actually comes together. And if I had really beautiful like tassel silk, it would look even prettier in my mind, you know. But I have a really hard time shopping for tassel silk. I just don't know what I should buy, because I haven't handled it enough to know. That's why I'm sticking with the cotton. Okay, so we've got our little centerpiece ready to go. Let's grab our head pin and our bead. I'm going to drop the bead down onto the head pin. Now this time, since we didn't try to knot him in, I'm just going to take the head pin and find the center, right, and just stick it through the center, which seems to be a lot easier, I think. There, and it's coming through the center, you can see. Okay, I'm going to pull, and now I'm just going to bundle all 4 groups around that bead. Okay, so that's the top of our tassel. How pretty is that? Okay, so I'm going to lay that down. Okay, now I'm going to cut a long section here, about 10 inches, 12 inches is all you're going to need so that we can tie our tassel together. I'm going to wait to put my needle on at the end, but I'm going to go ahead and form a little U shape, okay, with a short end and my long end. I'm going to lay that on to the top of all of my threads, okay. You can see there's the U right there. I'm going to pinch that with my fingers, hold on to the long end, okay? And now I'm going to, whoops, I'm going to bundle around. And just make your bundle as thick as you want or thin as you want, right? It doesn't matter how many times you go around. But you got to go around at least 4 times to really make sure that it's nice and secure. Okay, so there's the tip of that U shape sticking out at the top. Now I need to take this strand and go through the opposite direction. So I'm going to bring in my large eye needle. See if I can do this with one hand. Ooh, I can. Thread my needle. Come on. Trying not to let go so I don't lose the tension in my bundle. Now I'm going to take my needle, okay, because I've bundled, I'm up here at the top, right? I need to go down to the bottom. So I'm going to take my needle and just thread it underneath all those wraps I made. Okay, pull. Okay, whoops, accidentally grabbed my tail there. All right, so now we've got 2 tails, one going to the top, one going to the bottom. Take the needle away. Okay, now I'm going to pull, and when I pull this top thread, because that's the top end of our U shape, I'm going to pull that U shape all the way through, right? Now I can really pull on both ends to tighten up our bundle. Okay. And I've gathered up all of our little tassel. The one on the bottom, I'm just going to brush it down into the rest. This one up here at the top, I'm going to come in again with the Hypo cement. And just a little drop of glue right where that one is coming out. Okay, then I'm going to trim this off. Jane is here. Jane, I didn't see you come in earlier. I'm so glad you're here. All right, so now we've got our tassel. Look how pretty the top of that is. You can't tell me that's not fancy. That's a fancy little top to a tassel. Okay, now I do have an excessive amount of length here just for me. I'm going to trim some of this off. So I'm going to come in. Yeah, you definitely, I think I saw Ramona say something about scissors. You got to have sharp scissors for cutting your threads. Otherwise, it ends up being a hot mess. But there we go. There's our tassel. Look how pretty. So pretty. And we've got our wire coming out the top, so it's ready to rock and roll. All we got to do is add our beads, whatever it is you want. You don't even have to add beads if you don't want to. You can go ahead and just wire wrap right there and call it a day, right? I'm going to drop a bead down. I'm going to drop another little Swarovski crystal down on the top. And I'm going to wire wrap it. Okay. Bend in my wire. I'm going to come in with the round nose pliers. Okay, going up and over. Roll the pliers, take the wire to the other side, and wrap in that space. And voila, trim off the ends and you've got yourself a tassel. And you can make it an earring, you can make it a pendant. I mean, tassels are one of those things. It's like tassels are never going to go out of style. Never. And some people love them, some people hate them. When they very first kind of started making a comeback, I hated them because they reminded me of, like, you remember in the late 70s and the early 80s when, like, that really bold print, like floral and paisley prints, they were like huge and in your face prints. everybody's curtains and everybody's couches looked that way. And that's what tassels remind me of, or they used to, because it seems like all of the drapes in my house when I was a kid, and when my grandparents in their house, like all of the drapes had these huge tassels on them to go with those big gaudy patterns. That's what tassels reminded me of. It took me a while to kind of get past that and be like, okay, no, tassels don't have to be, you know, they don't have to be ugly and horrible and hideous. They can be really pretty, and they are. I have mended my love-hate relationship. Now, these are a little on the long side. This one's a little long. I'll have to trim this one up a little bit, but you can see. So we've got our shimmery ones here with the 2 colors. So when you're doing it, because you've got to use 4 different because you've got 4 different bundles, you could actually do a tassel that was 4 colors, right? I just did 2, but you could definitely make it 4 different colors, or all solid color. But there you go. You've got your little boutique tassels. Now I'm going to roll back a little bit because I saw that there was a question here. Let's see. Yeah, like Gone with the Wind. Wanda starts to play burlesque music. Oh my gosh, yep. Okay, hold on. I know there was a question. Okay, Vicki wants to know if you could do a second layer to make a bigger knot. You could, right? You could take this entire thing and tuck it into another tassel to make a really big tassel. Or instead of like going through all of that trouble, you could just make your bundles longer and thicker. So that's obviously, you know, when you make your adjustments in your threads, that's where you're going to find that you're going to have a thicker tassel, you know, a thicker bundle or a smaller bundle, and really kind of play around with it. So there you go. I'm going to turn you guys around. Stacia says, easier than I thought, right? That's what I'm going for. Like you know how the Ghost Adventures, I'm obsessed with Ghost Adventures, by the way. I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but I love that show because like I just can't not watch it. But like they're all into debunking the ghosts. That's how I feel about jewelry making. Like I am the Ghost Adventures crew of jewelry making, right? I'm like debunking all of the things that you think are hard in jewelry making and breaking it down and making it easy for you. That was the weirdest like metaphor. Would that be a metaphor? That's the weirdest comparison I think I've ever made. But somehow very fitting for me, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. All right, I'm going to put one of these on so you guys can see them. Oh, I already have earrings. We have earrings in. Sharon says, I love how they turned out. I'm glad. I think they're really cool, and it's so not hard, right? You just got to bundle your materials together. And listen, guys, I know, look how cute. Yes, I love it. I realize that making tassels like the normal way, where you just take as much thread as you want and you fold it in half and then you bundle it. I realize that that is as easy as it could possibly get. I get it. I know I've made a billion tassels in my lifetime and I've made them that way. But if you're looking for just a little something different, right? You want just that little extra decorative top, right? There's no reason why you can't just give it a try. Yes, it takes a little bit longer, but it's not harder. It's not harder. It might take a minute longer, right? But it's all right. Let's see. Can these be made with suede lace? Yes, they absolutely can. So tassels are just one of those things. You can make tassels out of every material you can possibly think of. And one of my favorite things with this knot in particular is sari ribbon, right? The sari silk ribbon with like the messy edge, like tied into that kind of Chinese knot that's at the top. It looks so pretty. So pretty. Like way different than you know, most people take their sari ribbons and like will tuck them into a bead cap, which is gorgeous, by the way. But if you don't want to tuck your sari ribbons into a bead cap, make a knot out of them like this, and it looks so good. It looks so, so pretty. What gauge wire is the head pin? It is a 24 gauge, but I mean 22 gauge. Actually, this was a 22 gauge head pin. 22 gauge, 20 gauge, 24 gauge is going to work, right? No problems whatsoever. So there you go. Just a quick little something. It's Technique Tuesday, so I gave you a technique. I had a really long day yesterday, so I was happy to pull this one out of the old noggin and be able to give it to you. I always worry that I'm not giving you enough. So I hope that today I gave you enough. Let's see. Hold on. I'll scroll back just a second. You're debunking the ghost, and jewelry goes with your love of Halloween and your sugar skulls. I know. I know, it's funny because, but a lot of people are like, oh, you love Ghost Adventures and you're a Halloween freak, and like, don't you believe in ghosts? And I'm like, not really. I'm probably one of the biggest skeptics you'll ever meet. Like, but now if we talk about aliens, that just scares me. I don't care if they're real or not. They just scare me. I just don't even want to go there. But ghosts, like, if they're real, I've not had an encounter that I could consider like something that would make me a believer. So I don't know, but I do love Ghost Adventures. And I do love debunking jewelry making techniques for you guys. So, hey, if it works, the shoe fits. Ramona says maybe attach a jump ring. Yes, you can do that as well. The only thing with the jump ring though is I worry like where you would attach it, because there's no true center other than in between all four of those knots. But that's something to work on for sure, like to figure out, because I know you could do it somehow. Donna says, we desperately need a snack shenanigans. We do. And you know what? I was thinking about that. I was absolutely thinking about that the other day. I actually have a small little pile started here. It's just snack shenanigans is an additional like investment. Investment, not really an investment. It's a cost, right? It's considered a business cost, a funny business cost, but so I have to plan that in advance. But yeah, we'll do that. Let's do that before the end of the month. It's been a while since we've done a snack shenanigans. So that being said, guys, I do have a P.O. box if you want to send me gross snacks. You don't have to. I will never ask you to like intentionally, like I would never say, please send me things. But if you've got a gross snack, you can send it to my P.O. box. You can send me a message and tell me where to get it, and I'll get it and try it out and totally give you credit for it. So yeah, that's in the works. No problems. No problems on that. Let's see. How would you attach this to, Wanda, I didn't say I was afraid of ghosts. I'm not afraid of ghosts. I'm afraid of aliens. That's different. That's different. That's creepy. That's just creepy. How would you attach the tassel to a mala, like a mala style, mala style? I don't know. And I'll be the first to tell you, like, I'm not even going to like try to flub an answer here. I truly do not know the answer to that. I'm not sure. I don't know that this type of tassel will work with that, at least not with the head pin. The knot of the tassel, that part is going to work, right? But attaching it, that's a whole nother issue. And I'm not sure. I do not know at all. Yeah, no bugs. Don't send me bugs. I won't eat bugs, please. Don't send me bugs. I don't do aliens and I don't do bugs. All right. Donna says I don't have anything else gross to send. You guys, Donna's the one that sent me the fish, remember? And I was banned from the house. I had to open it in the garage, and then we chased each other around like with the stinky cheese finger. Do you guys, you know what stinky cheese finger? It's like cooties, right? But nobody wanted me to touch them with the fish. It was funny. Yeah, stinky cheese finger. Anyway, what are we even talking about? All right, that's it. I do want to mention just one more time for any of you guys who are interested, the project that we did on Friday, our Feel Good Friday project from last week, I've put kits together. They're in my Etsy shop if you want to go grab those. It's not exactly the same, but it is very, very similar. I made an adjustment. Instead of the bird, it's a vintage scarab connector. It's really beautiful in like a cobalt blue, and then you get 2 crystals to hang underneath it to kind of bring all of that color way together. I really feel like if you did the patinas with some more of that kind of cobalt blue in, it would just be gorgeous. So if you're interested in those are over in the Etsy shop. If you're not, that's okay too. But they are there. Once they're all gone, they're gone. I may be able to recreate those later, but for now, what's available in the shop is all I've got. And if you have not signed up for the email list, please sign up for the email list. Guys, I've been really behind about sending out the emails. I know. I'm like, I won't spam you, and now I don't send you anything at all. I feel like I just do not have enough time in the day to do all of the things. Like, taking on my own business it's difficult. It's hard to be kind of like a one-man person. And part of that is because right now I have COVID. I don't have COVID, but there's COVID in the area. So it's not like I can have my peeps come and help me, which they have offered, and I appreciate that so much. And when it's so safe for us to do that, I'll have some more hands on deck, so it'll be easier. But baby steps, we're getting there, right? Baby steps. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I will see you guys tomorrow. If you are interested in coming to my virtual Michaels class tomorrow, that is at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Michaels website. So come on over to the Michaels website. You can sign up. It's a free class. Last we did one on Saturday. You guys, there were so many of you there. Oh my gosh. I was amazed. We had over 150 people, and more than half of them were you guys. And wow is all I can say. Like, your support means everything to me. So thank you so much for coming. If you've got time to come, pop on over tomorrow, 2 p.m. I'll be making a easy bracelet on the tying station with some bead stringing wire. If you've never knotted bead stringing wire before, it looks really beautiful. And yeah, it's just an easy, fun project. Come hang out. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Thursday at 1 p.m. with another fun project. We're going to take sliders and turn them into earrings. And by sliders, I mean like these guys that go on bracelets, right? They've got the two holes, so you slide them onto a bracelet, right? I'm going to turn them into earrings. I'm going to show you how to do it. Super cool. Super, super cool. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.